Hey, friends and family, it's Carly Jean making another vlog on behalf of this great state, the podcast that I promise is coming down the pipeline for you. And it's been a little while since I touched base. I was away for a week with my sweetie. I climbed the third highest mountain in the state. That was the South Sister. And it was quite an adventure. It made me think a lot about I guess it gave me some reflection time for what I want the show to be about, and I really benefited from that. And when I came back from this adventure, an interesting thing happened, and maybe it's because I kind of sat down working on the show for a week, but I am feeling all kinds of insecurities and fears that trying to start this program was one of the worst ideas I've ever had, and that maybe I don't have the right skills for it. Maybe there's no real need for it. There's already a million news sources out there. I look in the weekly paper and I'm like, oh, they're telling stories that I was thinking I wanted to tell. And, I was having ideas about these stories weeks ago. And, apparently so were the people that were writing for the Eugene Weekly, which is good. I think that means that we're all kind of on the same page about what we think is valuable, what we're hearing from people as far as the types of stories they want to hear. At any rate, I'm really struggling with this sense of, it's like a malaise almost, or not. It's not depression. I feel fine, but it's really hard to get motivated. And the problem with that is that tomorrow I have an interview here at my apartment in Eugene with one of the most important people in my life. She may actually not even know that she is one of those people. I guess this little video is going to give it away, but tomorrow I have the honor of interviewing on the show Bryn Hazell, who is one of my communication heroes. She's one of the big reasons that I ended up studying conflict resolution, becoming a mediator, and then teaching at the university about interpersonal communication. She also happens to be the mother of my best friend. And Bryn is going to come on the show and talk about compassionate communication in Oregon. And I kind of liken it to, okay, how about this? So, do you have a computer? Yes. If you're watching this right now, you probably have something like a computer, a tablet, a phone, whatever. But all of these devices need regular software upgrades. And what would happen if you didn't upgrade your computer or your phone? Eventually it would stop working well, to the point where it might not be useful at all. And that is kind of what compassionate communication or nonviolent communication is. If you think about your repertoire of communication skills, what you get without doing a lot of thinking about it or trying to onboard new skills is a bit like standard software on your tech. And nonviolent communication, learning it and practicing it in your life on a daily basis in all of your different kinds of relationships as an intent, as a practice, that is a communication software upgrade. And Bryn, she has a long history of being connected to, being a practitioner of, and promoting nonviolent communication in Oregon. And I'm so excited to host her tomorrow to let you know as an Oregonian what kinds of options you have in your communities for connecting to different practice groups so that you can have your own software upgrade and stop hitting brick walls in your communication with the people that you love. So a couple of things. Bryn's going to be here in my kitchen tomorrow hanging out with me. So I baked a loaf of bread. It's a walnut raisin bread, whole wheat. I'm kind of proud of it, actually. My sweetheart helped me make it yesterday, and it turned out really well. I know because I sampled it. There was a fabulous bakery in Eugene, Metropole. I'm sorry, not Metropole. Metropole's across the street. They're still alive. They're still great. This was a loaf that I used to buy from Eugene City Bakery, and they went out of business recently. What a bummer. So I decided to try to make it myself, and it worked. So I'm really excited to share this with Bryn tomorrow when she's here. And then the other great piece of news is that my This Great State business cards got here yesterday. Look how small this box is. They're mini cards, and there's 100 of them in here, and I got to pick the images to go on the cards. So I'm going to show you some of them. Tiny, tiny little things. I tried to choose images that represented Oregon well in my mind. So this one has a bunch of fresh strawberries on it. This is going to be backwards for you because the camera's reversed, but it says Carly Jean, host and producer of This Great State. And then it's got, you know, contact information for the future website. By the way, the website looks like it's going to be finished in the first week of September, and I'd like to plan a rollout party here in Eugene and maybe collect some audio from the guests. So if you're interested in coming to a rollout party for the program, I would love to have you. Stay tuned for more info for that. Back to the cards. This one, I don't know if you can see what's going on here, but it's a bunch of bike commuters. There's going to be lots of information, hopefully several guests on the show, on the regular, who talk about alternative transportation and all the different modes of transportation that we use as Oregonians. Got some ferns here. Oh yeah, definitely going to be talking about nature a lot. This is Lewis, Clark, and Sacagawea, because I hope that Oregon's history will feature prominently in the show. Here we have the Painted Hills. John Day has lots and lots of fires going on right now, so if you're living out there right now, Oregonians, you're in my thoughts, and I just really hope that some freaking rain comes soon, because I think those fires are just going to keep on burning until the weather patterns change. The fabulous white stag sign. This one turned out really, really well. Portland obviously is a huge place in my heart because I kind of grew up around there. So that's a good one. Sorry, it's backwards. This one's beautiful. It's Mount Hood, the bunch of stars in the background. That might be Bull Run Reservoir in front. A couple more. Little map of Oregon here. And finally, this one is a bunch of kind of botanical Douglas fir. So if you want one of these groovy miniature cards, let me know. I'll get one to you. Or I can give you one in person soon when I interview you for the show. It's an exciting time. I'm trying not to psych myself out. Ooh, I forgot one. This one's pretty cool. It's like a Pendleton blanket pattern. Yeah, these are hip. I'm trying not to psych myself out. The first interview with David Cohen turned out to be, I learned a lot from it. It's still not done. And I end up having to shelve it for now because it's just so dense. I've been trying to edit it to make it appealing and entertaining and in line with all of the goals that I have for the show. And it's not that how do I say this? David was a fabulous guest, but the content is just so uber practical. It's very wonky. Do you ever use that word, wonky? It's all about policy. And I just don't want to kick the show off with that level of kind of just, it's dense. It's like this bread that I made. And but what I want to give you right up front are the raisins and the walnuts. And I don't know. This is kind of becoming a runaway metaphor. But for me, what I need to feel successful are like mini successes. And that first episode has not created those circumstances for me about the show. So I'm really hopeful that some of the things I learned as I'm trying to produce that first episode will roll into my interview with Bryn tomorrow and subsequent interviews, so that it becomes a lot easier to edit and that the content really reaches out and grabs you as a listener and doesn't make you wade through some very, very thick process-based information. Whew, that was a big update. I recommend you go out there and climb the South Sister. That was super fun. Again, I mean, it's one of those Oregon gems that is so accessible. You can climb the third highest mountain in Oregon without any special gear. I would highly recommend that you use trekking poles to save your knees and just distribute the work a little bit more evenly. However, it's totally within reach. You don't need to train that much for it. Go for it and camp out, backpack into Green Lakes, because the star show there is so phenomenal. Anyway, you don't need to hear it from me. You love Oregon just like I do. That's why you're watching. Hey, any encouragement that you have for me to keep going, to not freak out about my student loans, to keep pursuing great stories would be so welcome. I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at Carly, C-A-R-L-Y, at thisgreatstate.org. I'm able to check those emails even though the website's not up yet. So give me a shout. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me if you've heard any really great stories about things happening in Oregon lately that I can follow up on and see if I can grab a new guest. I've got a person in mind that I can't wait to tell you about, but for now, it's been a long transmission, so I'll stop it here. Very excited to get back into the swing of bringing this show to life, and I need a little encouragement from you if you have a second. So tell me you think the show is important. Tell me you're excited to have a podcast, an audio show, and a blog all about the great things that happen here. Remind me why I wanted to do this in the first place. I think I know, but I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're doing really well and that you are safe, that your homes are not imperiled by fires right now. That is just heartbreaking. It's so smoky outside, and Eugene isn't on fire, so I just can't imagine what it's like to live in some of the communities that are in and on the edge of these awful wildfires. Okay, I think that's it. Have a wonderful day, and I will look forward to hearing from you. Carly at thisgreatstate.org. Send me an email if you have a chance, or give me a call, 541-870-3289. Tell me what you want to hear about on the show, and I look forward to anything you want to share. Okay, thanks.